Hi boys and girls, I'm Grandma Shell, and I am here to read to you a story today. Today the story is going to be A Week at Grandma's. I'm a grandma. I have 4 grandkids right now. I have 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. And I hope that if you like to watch these videos that you will click the thumbs up and that you will subscribe so that you don't miss any videos. I'm reading books every day this summer and I hope that you enjoy them. This story is called A Week at Grandma's by the Bernstein Bears, right? The Bernstein Bears and A Week at Grandma's. And this is by Stan and Jan Bernstein. I will read the page and then I will show you the picture on this one because it's got a lot more words. When Mama and Papa Bears go away, cubs visit their grandparents for their first long stay. That's what this book is about. Do you ever go to your grandma's house? And it's so much fun, right? Playing at grandma's is the best. Well, once in a while, a bear family who lived in the big tree house down the sunny dirt road deep in bear country got out the family snapshots and looked at them. "What are these?" asked Sister Bear, picking up a book of photos. "I don't think I've ever seen these before." There were pictures of bears playing tennis and canoeing and dancing and having all sorts of fun. The bears looked like Mama and Papa, only they were younger and thinner. "They're pictures of Papa and Mama and me on our honeymoon," said Mama with a smile. "At Grizzly Mountain Lodge," said Papa. "We had a wonderful time." "What's a honeymoon?" asked Brother Bear. "A honeymoon is a special trip couples take when they get married," explained Mama. "Getting married is a very special happening, and celebrated with a trip is an old custom." See, look at that. "As a matter of fact," said Papa, "we've decided to go on a second honeymoon. We're going back to the same place to play tennis, go canoeing, and have fun that we did when we got married. It'll be lovely," said Mama. "A second honeymoon sounds like a pretty good idea," said Brother. "Me too," said Sister. They scooted out of the room and were back in a jiffy with their vacation things. They thought they should go this time. "Oh, you won't be coming," said Papa. "Honeymoons, even second honeymoons, are just for grown-ups, not for cubs." "But what's going to happen to us?" said Brother and Sister. They were worried. Where were their parents going to take them? "It just so happens," said Mama, "that Gran has been after me to let you spend a week with her and Gramps. And this will be the perfect opportunity." "A whole week?" said Brother. "They get to stay with Grandma and Grandpa for a whole week." "But we've never stayed with anybody that long," said Sister. "Well," said Papa, taking a few practice swings with his tennis racket, "there's got to be a first time for everything." Look at him, he's thinking he's playing tennis. "What will we do for a whole week?" asked the cubs. "Where will we sleep? What will we eat?" "Goodness," said Mama, "such a fuss about simple things like spending a week at Grandma's." It didn't seem like a simple thing to the cubs. They loved Grandma and Gramps very much, but, well, they just weren't Mama and Papa. Besides, Grandma and Gramps were kind of old. I'm not a very old grandma. I'm kind of a young grandma. "Well, what are you taking with you?" Sister asked Brother when it was time to pack. "I'm taking 2 books, my Jacks and my teddy bear, of course." "These," he said, holding up some books, and my teddy bear, of course. "These," he said, holding up some books and his best yo-yo. Do you have a yo-yo? They're fun to play with. Then after lots of big bear hugs and kisses, the happy second honeymooners were on their way. It certainly is good to see young folks having fun, said Gran as she waved goodbye. We're the young folks, muttered the cubs. We're the ones who are supposed to have fun. Do you think they'll have fun at Grandma's house? I think so. Papa put their suitcases in the trunk. Papa put their suitcases in the trunk last so that when they got to Gran's, unloading was easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm sure you're hungry after your ride, said Gran when they went in. How about some of my special honey nut cookies and milk? No thanks, Gran, said Sister. I'm not hungry right now. Hey, these are really good, said Brother. Sister sneaked a taste. They were good, but well, they just weren't Mama's. She was liking her Mama's cooking better, so she deprived herself of a cookie. Brother didn't. Now let's get up to your room so you can get settled, said Gramps. The cubs reached for their bags, but before you could say Grizzly Gramps, they were all gathered up, bags and all, and carried up the steep stairs. Gramps certainly was strong for someone so old. The room at the very top of the stairs was nice, very nice indeed, but well, it just wasn't home. They missed their home. Gramps and Sister, where do you suppose Mama and Papa are right? Gramps said, Sister, where do you suppose Mama and Papa are right now? Well, said Gramps, I reckon they're still on the road, just pulling into the site of the Grizzly Mountain Lodge. After they unpacked their things, Gramps thought the cubs might like to explore around the house. They're going to look around. See, that's when they were imagining them getting to the lodge. And now they're going to explore around the house. They sure crammed a lot of pictures on one page, didn't they? While it wasn't home, it was an interesting house. There was an attic crowded with all sorts of interesting things, and Gran's kitchen with its yummy tastes and smells, and Gramps' den. Gramps knew how to build a ship in a bottle, and when the cubs asked him how it was done, he just smiled. He didn't even tell them. So look, there's Grandma in the kitchen cooking stuff, and there's the attic, all the cool stuff in the attic, and then over there's where Gram's cooking at the bottom. See that? She's baking cookies and soup and has fruit in there. And then that's the ship in the bottle. Grandpa's just smiling. He has 2 ships in a bottle. Maybe they'll get one each. What do you suppose Mama and Papa are doing now? They asked again. I reckon they've gotten into their tennis clothes and are swatting the ball back and forth. Over the next few days, Brother and Sister found lots to do. They helped Gran feed her bird friends, more kinds than they had ever seen in one place, and Gran knew all their names. And they helped Gramps cut and smooth twigs for a new ship in a bottle, and it turned out that he built them outside the bottle and then he slid them in. It was pretty tricky. Look at that. They're practicing tennis, and then Grandma's feeding the birds and she knows their names. And then he's clipping twigs so he can make a ship to put in the bottle and they could watch it. Look, so he carved it and then he put it inside and then it went up and now it's sealed and they put the cork in it. I didn't know they could do that. That's kind of cool, huh? They weren't fishing in a special place Gramps knew about. Well, said Gramps as they returned with a fine catch, I reckon your Mama and Papa are out canoeing right now. I certainly hope they're having fun, said Sister, because we sure are. Better get these chairs in, said Grandpa after the fine fishing fry. It's going to rain tomorrow. How do you know? Asked Brother. I can feel it in my bones, said Grandpa. He could probably also tell by the clouds in the sky. See, there they are fishing, And that's so fun. We're taking our kids fishing this week. And look, they're doing a campfire and they're cooking outside. But do you see the gray clouds in the sky? And you probably could smell it in the air. And that's where they're hiking. You could smell it in the air when it's gonna rain too. Has a special smell. It's so yummy too. It turns out Grandpa was right. Good, said Brother. We'll be able to relax a little. Sister got out her jacks and he started to play with his yo-yo. Used to be pretty good with a yo-yo myself, said Grandpa. Was he ever? Not only could he make the yo-yo sleep and walk the dog, he could even do baby in the cradle and around the world. What a cool grandpa, huh? That evening, after they had a refreshing nap, and they all went to Gramps and Gran's regular Friday night square dance. Gramps and Gran's didn't just watch. They do-si-doed with the best of them, and they even won a prize, the friskiest couple. Look at them dancing right there. And they won a prize. So silly. Goodness, said Sister in the morning. This week really flew by, and we learned so much, added Brother, practicing baby in a cradle with his yo-yo. Gramps and Grans, how do you know so much? Asked Sister. So many things. Why, you can even feel the weather in your bones. They were curious, how do Grandma and Grandpa know so much? But that's one of the good things about being an older person, said Gramps, smiling. You learn something every day, so that by the time you're old enough to be a grandparent, you know a lot, quite a lot. Gee, said Sister, I guess you and Gran are so old that you must know everything. Never stop learning. Why, just this week, we learned something very special. We learned about how absolutely wonderful it is to be grandparents and to have lovely grandcubs. And then Grandma and Gramps swept their grandcubs up in a big hug. See, they're so happy they have their grandkids staying with them. Grandparents love having their grandkids. The next thing they knew, a familiar beep beep was heard. It was Papa tooting the horn. He and Mama were back from their second honeymoon, and it was time for the cubs to go home. See? They gave them a hug, and now their parents are coming back for them. Their vacation was over. After saying goodbyes and thank yous, the Bear family piled into the car and headed home. No sooner were they on their way, then Brother and Sister were bubbling over with the fun and excitement about their week at Grandma's, telling their mom and dad all about their time at Grandma's. Well, said Papa, it sounds like you had a pretty good time. Oh, we did, said Sister. Papa, sometime you might want to go on a third honeymoon, and then we could spend another week at Grandma and Grandpa's. Third honeymoon, that'd be great. A third honeymoon, said Papa. I don't think anyone's ever gone on a third honeymoon. Well, said Sister, there has to be a first time for everything. Look at that. It's so cute. Well, I hope you enjoyed this book about a week at Grandma's. I think it's so fun to be a grandma. Look at all these other books that the Bernstein Bears have stories about. That's a lot of books. I have some of those books and I'll read them to you. But like I said, give this video a thumbs up. Click that blue thumb that has the thumb up. And then click the red bell so that you will remember whenever I am coming on with a new story. And I'm going to try to read one every day just for you. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.